Parmar from Vyapaar and I welcome you all, and this is a series that we are continuing with the hashtag that is Mera Vyapar Meri Pehchan. And during the series of interviews we are inviting industry leaders, we are inviting entrepreneurs, those who are having amazing journey, and we are going to discuss about their life stories. We are going to discuss about what they are doing and how they are doing. So, continuing the same series, today we have Mr. Sanjay Patel. He is a founder and principal IP attorney at Excelon IP. He is having a very wide experience. He is having experience of 17 plus years of this particular industry, and he is not only doing this particular practice, but he is also a mentor, and he is a mentor at various startup accelerator, or we can say the startup organizations where there are startups, those who are doing something amazing, and he is a mentor even at Startup India. So let's welcome Mr. Sanjay Patel and let us know more about his journey, what he do, and how he do. So, Mr. Sanjay, welcome to Vyapaar Jagat TV, and thank you so much for taking out your time and joining this particular show.
Yeah.
Sanjay bhai.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen, for giving me this opportunity, and would be happy to share. And I will be more than happy that through this journey or through this kind of exchange, if anybody can help get some information or the knowledge which will be helpful in their life or in their business or the startups.
Absolutely, sir. And Sanjay bhai, so let us start with your background. So I have briefly introduced yourself, but even if you can introduce yourself, wherein what are the set of other things which I have not included in the introduction, which you can tell. So we can start. Even we can start with your background, wherein what was your qualification and how it was all started.
Yeah. So actually, I belong to a family of farmer, basically from Saurashtra, but born and brought up in Ahmedabad. So I have done my schooling in Bapunagar area, and after the schooling, 10th and 12th, I took admission in a pharmacy. This is LM College of Pharmacy, which is the oldest pharmacy college in across the India, you can say. It's since 1947, right? So taking admission into the pharmacy is also not by choice. Earlier, I was thinking to take admission into the computer or IT, but somehow some person has guided me or mentored me that it is the better options rather than the IT and computer. So I took admission without knowing anything about the pharmacy, and I have done my B.Pharm from LM College of Pharmacy. And after that, I realized that if I want to build up a career, then M.Pharm must be there. So I have done the post graduation in the pharmaceutical technology from the same college, LM College of Pharmacy, and that's how the journey of as a pharmacist I have built up that education in the B.Pharm and M.Pharm. After pharmacy, or during that pharmacy phase of B.Pharm and M.Pharm transactions, to support the family as a financially, I have done the job as a pharmacist into the Planet Medical Store during the night shift. So throughout my M.Pharm study, I have done the night shift at the Planet Health Pharmacy Store to support the financially family as well as to run my post graduations.
Very interesting. So Sanjay bhai, हमें ये देखना है, ये जानना है कि you entered into the pharmacy domain, and how you came into this particular IP and attorney domain.
Yeah, it is not only your question. Everybody who meets me first,
right,
he say that you have done pharmacy, what you are doing in this patent.
Absolutely.
Right. So that is also against not by choice, by force only. After completion of M.Pharm, 2-3 जगह पे interview दिया for a formulation development, which is the typical job someone is looking for after doing the masters in pharmacy technology.
Okay.
But I was rejected at that time for that particular things for one or another reason. So in between the Torrent pharmaceutical or Torrent research came as a campus into the LM College of Pharmacy, but that vacancy is for the patent department. Right. So at that time we are just aware that okay, there is something kind of patent, क्योंकि हमको subject में आता था.
Right.
But beyond that, we don't know anything because before that, no one has worked into this kind of department, and for us also, it is very unknown field. We are not sure that what is the future going forward. So I consider okay, let's start something. Then we will decide कि इसको continue करना है कि नहीं करना है. Then we will switch it to another department. So by that way, it is also again by accident, not by choice. I entered into this field, and I started my first job as a professor into the M.Pharm in the Torrent Research Center in the patent department. And Torrent was the first company who have established or started this department as a patent in-house within the Gujarat. The Torrent was the first company, and we are the first M.Pharm students from LM College of Pharmacy History who have entered into this department, that is patent or intellectual property right. So how this it started?
Interesting. So Sanjay bhai, I mean, you have entered because there was an opportunity, right? आपको एक job करनी थी, आपको एक job चाहिए थी. You have started that. So अब वो करने के बाद, how you have started Excelon IP?
Yeah.
And when it was started, and what was the idea? What was the at that time whatever vision or mission you were having? So what was that?
Yeah. So once we entered into this patent department, day-to-day life में we realized that actually what intellectual property, what patent is, what is its importance into any industry or business. So वहाँ से realize हुआ कि भाई नहीं, there is a very very huge scope in future, right? Because India at that time, I am saying about 2005,
Right.
patent is a very very वर्ड के भी जो बहुत सारे लोगों ने सुना ही नहीं होगा. फार्मेसी और फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री को पता था क्योंकि in 2005 there was a change in the patent law, and which is directly impacting to the pharmaceutical industry. That's why the pharmaceutical industry को थोड़ा बहुत पता था what patent is and what impact it is making into their business, right? So हमको ये पता कि अभी there is huge scope going forward. And वो भी पता था कि फ्यूचर में this will be the compulsion if you are doing any business, right? Intellectual property will be the key role. Either you want to start, you want to establish, you want to grow, intellectual property will play a very critical role. So from that point of time, I have decided okay, I want to pursue the career in this particular field only. And again, being a patent and being a Gujarati, being a Patel and being a Gujarati, it is always there is a thought process to do something by own, the entrepreneurship kind of things, right? Though I am the first generation entrepreneur in my family, but that was there into the mind. But because of some financial and social responsibilities, I thought of let's first finish that, continue the job, get established, get knowledge, because the knowledge is the key in this particular domain, right? So I built up that expertise, I built up that knowledge, I built up that relationship or network during that tenure. I have worked into the Torrent for 2 years. I have worked into the INTAS R&D Excelon research for 2 years. That is into the formulation development to get the practical knowledge how this product development happens, how the product is selected, how to develop the tablet or the capsule to the stability and transfer to the plant, and which is ultimately going to be launched into the market. Then again, I have worked into the Torrent, then INTAS, then LMB Pharmaceuticals R&D patent department. In between, I have cleared the patent agent exam, which is the mandatory if you want to practice as a patent agent. And when I was in Alembic, I have done the LLB from MS University, and my last association was with the UK-based pharma companies R&D in Baroda as an IP head, where I have established the patent department over there, right? And then I left in 2018 to start my own dream, right? Initially, I joined one of my friends' firm as a managing partner, and then later on I started my own proprietorship IP law firm, and that is Excelon IP.
Superb. So almost like 7 or 8 years you have worked for other organizations, you have learned everything, and then you have started your own agency.
Yeah, it's almost not 7, 8, but you can say the 13, 14 years.
13, 14 years, okay. Yeah. Interesting. So Sanjay bhai, अभी आप जो भी कर रहे हो, right? So what are the products or what are the services you have under the Excelon IP?
Yeah. So Excelon IP is basically intellectual property right law firm kind of things, and we are catering only we are only and only practicing into the intellectual property, and under intellectual property that is patent, trademark, copyright, and design patents. Right, these are the four verticals there. We are focusing and providing the service. Right, and it is not only for India. Across the globe, if you want to do any registration, any part of the world, we can facilitate through our networks in other countries.
Okay, other countries as well.
Yeah.
And how your products or how your services are competitive from other competitors? Because there are so many organizations these days those who are into this particular domain, and they are helping startups or entrepreneurs or any MSME. They want to register their products, so they want to register their logo, they want to register their some sort of the content or some sort of symbols.
Yeah.
Right. So how you are different from them?
So we are not competing with anyone, right? We have our own expertise and the team of expertise. We always believe in that providing the transparent solutions to the client, right? Whenever clients approach, now we have a client from the diversified domain, diversified category, and diversified size. We have a client which is an individual student, right? Working or even studying in a college, a researcher, a guide, a startup, a MSME, a large corporate, and even a foreign companies who are doing some kind of research related activities, right? So whenever the client approaches, we do not directly pitch that these are the service we are providing. We first try to understand what exactly their requirement is, what exactly their purpose for this, what they are looking for with respect to that innovations or the product or creativity in future. So we first understand their requirement, understand their product, their business goal, their vision, their mission, and accordingly that we suggest that okay, considering all these factors, this is the right type of IP you should protect. How much time it will take, कितना उसमें cost लगेगा, expense होगा, and how you can derive or encase that kind of IP protection or registration for the growth of their business, right? So we do not teach service or we do not sell service, we just educate them, right? We just educate, and after that they will consider, they will take an informative decision that how they want to proceed. So this is the way we can say that we differentiate, and as I directly told that we are not competing with anyone, right? We are just trying to build ourselves and want to grow, want to get established every day.
Bilkul. That is very important, I think, because see, as far as I understand trademarks or the patents, right? There are a lot of classes. I think each even trademark is falling under multiple classes, and based on what set of services you are into to identify the class, even it is very difficult because I have went through the IT development, IT implementation, IT service, and now being the media service provider, we are doing award events, we are doing the conventions, conferences, and lot many things. So yeah, that's very important. That is what you are doing. Sanjay bhai, sir, just let us know according to you what is the market size. ये market जो है वो कितना बड़ा है, and what are the future opportunities you see, wherein what is your mission and what is your vision towards, let's say हम एक बार ऐसा सोचते हैं कि 10 साल के बाद आप कहाँ पे देख रहे हो आपको?
So with respect to the market or the size, you can say that I can consider कि अभी जो situation है, that is only a 5% people who are actually and seriously looking कि भी मेरे को IP registration करवाना है, right? So still there is a scope of another 95% people to educate them and to realize them that if you are in any damn industry of any size, IP will play a key role if you want to grow, sustain and establish, right? So there is, with respect to market size, there is very huge scope is available going forward. Now with respect to the vision now I have my own personal vision that is based on my personal perspective. I want to educate at least 1 lakh people about this intellectual property subject, and for that I'm doing so many activities in terms of creating awareness about the subject through college, through incubations, through startup accelerator and all this at college level, school level, MSME level or corporate level, right? So this is my own personal vision and that I have started since 2005-7. So have this mission to educate 1 lakh people by December 2025. With respect to organization, we want to see Excelon IP as a one in the top 5 or 10 IP law firm where it is recommended by someone else, not by we say okay we are the top firm or we are the doing good work. I want to listen that people say that okay if you want to this kind of services and the requirement or even a guidance, then they should refer that okay you should refer the Excelon IP.
इंटरेस्टिंग एंड संजय भाई, तो आपने ये जो भी मिशन आपने बताया, बिकॉज सी 1 lakh entrepreneurs, right? That is that is something which is very I should not say interesting, but it is something which is a very focused, very kind of the specific target or the specific mission you have now. आपका ये जो मिशन है वो मिशन को अचीव करने के लिए अभी आपके पास कितना टीम साइज है एंड व्हाट आर द सेट ऑफ टूल्स और व्हाट आर योर मार्केटिंग स्ट्रेटेजीज, और आप क्या क्या ऐसी एक्टिविटीज़ करते हो कि जो ये एक पर्टिकुलर विजन के पास आप पहुँच सको, मतलब जो भी आपको 5 साल 10 साल में जब भी अचीव करना है तो उसके लिए व्हाट आर योर स्ट्रेटेजीज?
So currently with respect to team, we have a diversified team with respect to patent, trademark, copyright and designs. We have a team experts from the pharmacy background, we have a team expert from the engineering background, we have a team expert from the law background for the trademark and copyright perspective. So we have a team size of 8 people, and constantly we are keeping the interns and the trainees so that we can educate and train them with respect to this subject, right? Second thing is I'm always available for if someone is inviting me for any kind of activity, either it is online or offline. Definitely reaching to offline to many places is nowadays not possible, but whenever it is online I never say no unless and until there is some conflict in my schedule, right? So on and every 1 or 2 seminar or a webinar or a conference kind of things I am attending, and through that route I am just trying to achieve this particular goal. With respect to marketing, we are not doing marketing because under the that legal perspective we do not do direct marketing, but as I said, we just spread awareness about these subjects, right? And based on that we try to get that okay if they are getting any value from that information, then they will come back to us either for a guidance or a consultation. May or may not be they will be converted into a client in future.
Okay, and so आपने जैसे बताया कि आप यू आर नॉट लिमिटेड टू अ पर्टिकुलर सिटी, यू आर प्रोवाइडिंग योर सर्विसेज अक्रॉस द नेशन और इवन आउटसाइड इंडिया, राइट? So what collaborative approach you are following and how you do collaboration with other organizations?
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts about collaboration? Because these days competition versus collaboration is a buzzword,
Yes.
right? So everybody wants to know more about it. Yes.
Yeah. So being a single person, you cannot cater everything, right? As I told that is a very very huge scope in this particular field, right? So we always collaborate with other firms, even though with the same kind of profile, right? Because each firm has their own expertise, right? So we always try to collaborate rather than competing with the same field people, right? So that is that kind of collaboration with respect to the same field. Even with an intellectual property law firm is there, someone is working in some area, either in some state or a country, we always collaborate and help each other to refer each other's client as per their expertise in that particular domain. That is the first thing with respect to the IP. Now apart from IP, when client comes to us, he may have a requirement of only for the IP registration, but during the discussion we also understand okay he has this pain point also, that he is looking for some good marketing person, good manufacturing people, good other agencies for some licensing or liaison work with the government or any other industry. So we help them to connect right people who have that expertise, right, through our network. So we have that kind of association with other people also, right? In the pharmaceutical, we have a, you name it, we have a people in our network. We can directly connect with our trust and the confidence. So when client is coming, client can get a one-stop solution, right? Though we are only dealing with IP, but we always guide and help them to get the right people and the right source for the other purpose of their business growth.
राइट एंड संजय भाई आपने ये बताया कि आपका जो करियर जो है जो आपने स्टार्ट किया था फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री से, तो अभी आप ये जो भी आईपी का काम कर रहे हो तो उसमें व्हाट इज़ योर मेजर फोकस? इज इट फार्मा ओनली और जो भी अदर सेक्टर्स है, वेन यू नो ट्रेडिंग है, इंटरनेशनल बिजनेस लोग कर रहे हैं, तो काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें हैं, सर्विसेज में देयर आर वेरियस सेक्टर्स। तो आपका जो है वो एक्सपर्टीज अभी सब डोमेन पे है या यू स्टिल फोकस मोर ऑन फार्मा और फार्मेसी?
So my core expertise and my core focus is into pharma, definitely based on my experience.
Right.
But we have a team. The team have expertise into the engineering domain, right?
Right.
So definitely will core or the focus from my perspective it is pharma definitely, but it is not like that we are only focusing or catering the pharmaceutical industry, right? We have a very good clients into the engineering domain also, right? Including the mechanical, electrical and the software side also.
अच्छा, एंड संजय जी आपने बताया कि आप मेरे ख्याल से ये सबसे अच्छा और एक फ्यूचर ओरिएंटेड टास्क है जो आप कर रहे हो कि आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में यू आर गिविंग फर्स्ट चांस टू द फ्रेशर और द इंटर्न्स, राइट? क्योंकि काफ़ी कम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऐसा करते हैं कि जो लोग इंटर्न को या फर्स्ट जो फ्रेशर्स है उनको अपॉर्चुनिटीज देते हैं। तो अब स्पेशली व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दी फ्रेशर्स, तो दे आर नॉट स्किल्ड और दे डू नॉट हैव द एक्सपीरियंस।
Yes.
और काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें ऐसी होती है वेरी वी हैव टू ट्रेन दैम,
Yes.
राइट? वी हैव टू एजुकेट दैम इन सच अ वे कि जहाँ पे उनका ये अभी जो करियर स्टार्ट हो रहा है वो करियर में वो नॉट ओनली आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बारे में स्टडी करे या फिर आपका जो डोमेन है उसके बारे में स्टडी करे, बट वो जो फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस वो जो कैरी कर रहे हैं तो वो उनके लिए पूरा एक करियर जो है वो सेट होता है वहाँ से।
Yes.
तो व्हाट आर द सेट ऑफ यूनिक थिंग्स विच यू आर डूइंग फॉर योर टीम जो आपको लग रहा है कि दिस इज समथिंग विच इज the USP और एक डिफरेंस आप क्रिएट कर रहे हो आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन?
So when you say about the interns or the trainings, now during the COVID time there was education colleges are closed, right? So at that time we have taken an initiative that to start a virtual internship, right? And so with that thought and that internship, when you say the internship in a typical language, generally people क्या सोचते हैं interns means अगर इंटर्न्स रखा है आपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में तो जितना भी अनप्रोडक्टिव वर्क है, क्लरिकल वर्क है, वो इंटर्न से करवाओ, राइट? वी हैव अ टोटल ऑपोजिट थिंकिंग फ्रॉम दैट पर्सपेक्टिव. वी एजुकेट एंड एम्पावर द interns with respect to the knowledge, right? And we give him the hands-on training that what are the things, how to identify the trademark class, how to perform the search, how to draft or how to perform the prior art search, and also we help them to understand the subject by practical exposure to each and everything, right? So during that COVID we have taken this initiative and just float a Google form kind of things on the LinkedIn or social media page. Okay, we are planning to have this kind of virtual internship, right? So where you do not have to pay anything, we are not going to pay anything to you, but you will get the knowledge. You do not have to do any task or the clerical activities, and we will also provide you the certificate based on if you consistently attend and have a small kind of assignment if you finish this. So with our surprise, we received more than 150 applications within one day.
Achha, wow.
After 150, from this 150, we have sent them the message to confirm. So out of this 110 something has confirmed. We have created group and float the schedule, and successfully I think out of that 110, 70 to 80 people have successfully completed and attended all the sessions, and we have provided the certificates, right? So in that particular case we do not have anything to gain, but again just sharing the knowledge and educating them about this particular subject was the main cause. Now after that COVID, now we have started taking some physical interns also, but that is some limitations with respect to the physical internship. So we try to empower them, we try to get the practical exposure to them, and apart from not only technical, we try to build up a teamwork, a professional as well as personal development, communication skill, right?
Very important.
Interpretation skill, analytical skill, how to write a mail, right? That is also very important things when you go into the career, right?
Absolutely.
So all these things we try to cater, and we always try to build up a teamwork kind of attitude and learning to the interns and the training.
Absolutely, very powerful, very powerful. And Sanjeev, so now let us talk about so far what you have achieved, right? So we want to know that आपने ये आपका करियर रहा है अभी तक, उसमें कितने अचीवमेंट्स यू थिंक दीज आर द अचीवमेंट्स वी हैव, व्हाट आर द रिकग्निशंस यू हैव सो फार, एंड नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट नेक्स्ट 10 years. तो अगले 10 साल में व्हाट डू यू थिंक वेयर यू वांट टू रीच यू?
So, with respect to the achievement, I can say that
Before that, let me tell you.
Yes.
So, Sanjeev is a Vyapaar Jagat Award winner, right? So,
Yes.
recently he won that particular award. Yes,
Yeah.
please continue.
Yeah. So apart from that award, the first thing that I was really appreciate or very thankful to the nature of the God that in 2012 I have applied for the one patent expert training to the Japan government or the Japan patent office, and I have been selected for this 21 days patent expert training, and that is fully sponsored by the Japan government or Japan patent office. So that was the first achievement I got, and after that, based on interaction with those people's Japanese organizations, they have selected one closed group called IP Collegium, right, where they have invited people from Asian countries, one or two people from each country, and they have also selected me from India, representing as a patent attorney from India. So that is another achievement that in 2017 or 18, I have been listed as a top 100 IP leader of
Awesome.
India by the World IP Forum. It's one of the organization creating the specifically IP focused conferences. So these are some achievements. Definitely from Vyapaar Jagat we got an award as a legal service provider last year. So these are some achievements, and going forward, we want to looking forward to grow every day, and we want to make us capable to cater more and more startups, MSMEs, and the individual researchers to empower them so that they can come up with their idea without any fear, do it practically, protect it IP, and commercialize it and get some revenue so that they can boost up further research work.
बिल्कुल. एंड संजीव, मेरा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन जो है, इट इज नाउ सो यू आर सपोर्टिंग टू स्टार्टअप्स as well as budding entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what experience do you have, या what are your thoughts wherein startup का mindset ज़्यादा होता है IP पे, या जो budding entrepreneurs है जो काफ़ी सालों से ये business कर रहे हैं, उनका mindset जो है वो IP पे ज़्यादा रहता है?
So mindset perspective, there is no any criteria कि भाई startup is more focusing on IP, या फिर established business है they are more focusing on IP. There are 2-3 different types of people exist. The first is they do not understand, जिसको पता नहीं है कि वो कैसी कुछ चीज़ है,
बिल्कुल
एग्जिस्ट करती है, वो इनको पता नहीं है. देयर इज अ वन क्लास. दूसरा क्लास ऐसा है कि जिसको पता है कि भाई ओके पेटेंट, ट्रेडमार्क, डिजाइन, कॉपीराइट जैसी कुछ चीज़ है, बट उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है.
सही बात है.
बट आई एम डूइंग दैट बिजनेस, 10 साल से मैं कर रहा हूँ, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है और मुझे कोई ज़रूरत भी नहीं है. अनदर क्लास ऑफ पीपल जिसको पता है ऐसा कुछ चीज़ है, उसको थोड़ा बहुत पता भी है कि इसका इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है, थोड़ा बहुत सीरियस समझते हैं कि भाई उसके ये कराना चाहिए, ट्रेडमार्क कराना चाहिए, या पेटेंट कुछ कर रहे हो तो इनोवेशन कर रहे हो तो पेटेंट फाइल करना चाहिए, बट दे कंसिडर एज ए एक्सपेंस इनटू द बिजनेस. अगर मेरे को ट्रेडमार्क फाइल करना है, पेटेंट फाइल करना है, डिजाइन फाइल करना है, तो दे कंसिडर इट इज एडेड एक्सपेंस टू देयर बिजनेस.
राइट.
And only very few people or the organization or a startup, they are very keen and understand the importance of the IP, seriousness of the IP, and they are the people, they take the maximum advantage of intellectual property and they encash it into the business growth of there. So there is no any, even we have come across many established people since 20 years having the crores of the turnover, but still they do not have the mindset of IP that they should create, file and encase the IP they have already.
बिल्कुल
And we, on another hand, we have a very startup who are just coming up with a new idea, but they are more keen and more serious about protecting the IP before going on into the floor.
Right. अच्छा संजय भाई ये बताइए कि अब समझो कि कोई बड़ी एंटरप्रेन्योर है या कोई स्टार्टअप है, अब कोई एग्जिस्टिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, फॉर एग्जांपल कोई बंदा जो है वो फूड का बिजनेस कर रहा है, कोई सर्विसेज में है, अब वो 10 साल से एक ही चीज़ कर रहा है, अब उसको आज आइडिया आता है कि मुझे कुछ ये इन्वेस्टमेंट भी करना चाहिए. इट इज़ नॉट एन एक्सपेंस, इट इज़ एन इन्वेस्टमेंट, राइट, कि जहाँ पे मैं जिस ब्रांड से बिजनेस कर रहा हूँ, मेरी जो यूएसपीज है दैट आई कैन रजिस्टर, ताकि आपका जो मोनोपोली है वो मोनोपोली बरकरार रहे और उसका कोई कॉपी ना लग जाए. तो वो करने के लिए सबसे पहली चीज़ जो है वो उनको क्या करनी चाहिए, एंड व्हाट आर द सेट ऑफ अदर थिंग्स, अगर कोई सर्विस बिजनेस में है तो उनको और क्या क्या चीज़ें जो है वो ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए.
तो वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग इज कि भाई अगर आपने आज तक कुछ नहीं किया है, ऑलरेडी यू आर डूइंग बिजनेस, द फर्स्ट थिंग इज यू एजुकेट योरसेल्फ कि भाई व्हाट इज इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी, ये क्या है, पेटेंट क्या है, ट्रेडमार्क क्या है, कॉपीराइट क्या है और डिजाइन क्या है, राइट. देयर आर सो मेनी फ्री रिसोर्सेज आर अवेलेबल, राइट. तो जहाँ पे आप बेसिक इन्फॉर्मेशन ले सकते हो कि ओके ट्रेडमार्क तो किसके लिए मिलता है, आपका ब्रांड नेम है, लोगो है, टैगलाइन है, तो उसके लिए आप ट्रेडमार्क प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो. आप कोई ऐसा प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हो जो यूनिक शेप में है, तो दैट यू कैन प्रोटेक्ट अंडर द डिजाइन पेटेंट. द सेम वे इफ यू आर क्रिएटिंग समथिंग न्यू, कोई प्रोडक्ट आपने नया इन्वेंशन किया है कि जो आज तक कहीं पे एग्जिस्ट नहीं कर रहा है एंड इट इज सॉल्विंग सम काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम, तो आप उसको पेटेंट में रजिस्टर करके प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो. So the first thing is you educate yourself. So many resources are available now, right? Still after that, if you have further query, आपको कोई confusion है तो you can approach any professional, not myself or Excelon IP. You can approach any professional who are working in this intellectual property to get your query solved. और कई बार क्या होता है, बहुत सारी myth और misbelief होती है, बिल्कुल, right? तो उसको भी ओवरकम करने के लिए you discuss with the people, approach the people who have experience and the knowledge in the field to remove that myth or a misbelief and to get the more clarity that okay आपको भले आपने आज तक वो रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं करवाया, बट टुडे अगर आपको वो करवाना है तो what are the possibilities, what are the process, what are the consequences, right? So that all thing is available, but you have to first educate yourself and approach the people to get guidance.
बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल सही कहा संजय भाई ने. लेट मी टेल यू नो वन थिंग, काफ़ी सारे मिथ्स होते हैं, काफ़ी सारी ऐसी चीज़ें होती है कि हमेशा लगता है कि मुझे ये चीज़ पता है, या फिर ये कौन कॉपी कर जाएगा, या फिर यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं होने वाला है.